Clock ticking down on the eve of that historic cosmic event. The moon completely blocking the sun, turning day to night. A sight no one has seen in America in nearly 40 years. The anticipation is growing as millions get ready.
Pacific Northwest, I'd be considering moving. Seriously. The gist of it is this. The federal government estimates 13,000 Americans will die in a major earthquake and tsunami in the Pacific Northwest. It's not a question of whether, but when. This earthquake is coming, and it's overdue.
3.3 strike near San Jose, California, America. An earthquake has been reported for the third time today east of San Jose, according to the U.S. Geological Survey. The most recent quake was measured as a preliminary 3.3 magnitude earthquake and struck at about 6:20 p.m.
Consider that the magnitude 9.0 earthquake in Japan just a few years ago, remember that, killed more than 15,000 people in the north of Japan and injured thousands of others. Seismologists say that the quake that will strike on our Pacific Northwest coastline should be even stronger, at up to a 9.2. They call such a quake a margin rupture quake, and it's every bit as bad as it sounds. Here's the reason for it. Our entire continent sits on the North American tectonic shelf, right? Plate, I should say. Off the coast of the Pacific Northwest, from the top of Washington State all the way down to Northern California. This is it. And another plate called the Juan de Fuca is trying to slide up under North America, but it's stuck.
This morning, the most popular article on the New Yorker's website is rattling many Americans. The really big one examines a titanic earthquake and tsunami, but not where you might imagine.
A fault line called the Cascadia subduction zone runs for 700 miles off the Pacific Northwest coast. Experts think it will trigger the worst national disaster in North American history, and it is overdue.
Verga, güey, está temblando. A la madre, está temblando bien fuerte, güey. Su puta madre, güey. Su puta madre, güey. Verga. A la verga. A la verga. Está temblando.
It's predicted to be worse than Hurricane Katrina, worse than the San Francisco earthquake of 1906. Scientists and FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, are warning of a pending doom for the Pacific Northwest. An earthquake along a little-known fault line that would kill thousands and affect millions.
This? Hey, there's an entrance.
That lady right there's been watching for a minute too. There's another entrance via railroad straight into the caves. Just outside the caves, FEMA gear.
We're due in this calculation with another big one.
We've known about the Cascadia subduction zone for quite a while. It's a serious risk. A big earthquake in the Pacific Northwest could be the worst disaster the country has faced.
And perhaps the worst part of all of this, these sorts of earthquakes happen at regular intervals in exactly this part of the world, have forever. On average, according to seismologists, about every 240 years. So when was the last one of these massive 9.2 or so earthquakes? Well, the last one was more than 300 years ago, the year 1700. It struck in the Pacific Northwest and sent a 600-foot wave of water all the way to Japan. So right now, on average, the Pacific Northwest is decades overdue for the really, really big one.
I'm not stupid. This place is a freaking fortress. You know how much military operations go on right here that is going on here.
CBS News science and futures contributor Michio Kakuka is a physics professor at the City University of New York. Good morning.
Morning.
So it's overdue. When will it might come?
Well, this is the mother of all earthquake faults. It can pack a wallop 30 times that of the San Andreas fault. So forget all the Hollywood hype about the San Andreas fault. We're talking about an earthquake, a 9.0, similar to what devastated northern Japan, which killed over 15,000 people and caused $250 billion in property damage.
Cascadia subduction zone stretches about 700 miles from Cape Mendocino, California to Vancouver, Canada. Big cities expected to be affected include Seattle and Portland. Some scientists believe the earthquake, when it goes off, will reach between 8.7 and 9.2 on the Richter scale and cause a tsunami.
Airmen and soldiers conduct joint training in Washington to support domestic operations in preparation for natural disaster.